Good morning from here in Brighton, and welcome to our new students webinar today. My name is Tess St Clair Ford. I'm the principal here at OIC Brighton. And with us online this morning, I have Dr. Gemma Hannon, who's our Deputy Principal Academic. I have Mr. Tom Layton, who is our Director of Boarding. I have Joanna Clark, who a number of you will already have been in touch with, who is our Director of Admissions and Marketing. And I have Mr. John O'Melia. John is our Deputy Principal, Pastoral and Wellbeing. And you're going to hear from each of those colleagues about their different areas of responsibility during the course of this webinar. So we're really excited to welcome you and really excited to be planning for your arrival, not long now, ready for the start of the new academic year. We're in our final week of term here at OIC Brighton. And we have a wonderful week ahead of us with graduation events for our first cohort of A-level students who are off to really exciting university destinations and our end of term concerts. We're hosting a university fair today. We hosted a conference yesterday. So it's a really beautiful way to end what's been an exciting and busy academic year. During the course of this webinar, you'll be able to see there's a Q&A icon. It should be on your screen. Please do use that at any point to post any questions or clarifications that you might have, because we'll be able to answer those as the webinar progresses. So if you do have any questions, please just use that Q&A icon. So it's my task to welcome you, and I'm really looking forward to welcome you in person in August, whether you're arriving for Head Start or for the start of the new academic year. It's a really warm and welcoming community, and I'm looking forward to you experiencing that for yourself. We are a small campus with beautiful facilities. We're going to be around 250 students, and we have students in years 9 to 13. And as I mentioned, our first ever cohort of graduating students just finished their A-levels and are full of the excitement of what lays ahead. So a brief history, if I may, of our college. We opened in 2023 and based on the really successful academic model from OIC in Oxford. Gemma's going to talk to you a bit more about our academic programme, but ours is a really rigorous academic model, and we've worked really hard at OIC Brighton to explore the ways in which you can be both really well-rounded and take care of your well-being so that you're able to thrive in your future endeavours, whilst also being busy and having the highest academic expectations. We're part of Nord Anglia Education, which is a network of schools all around the world. And this leads to amazing opportunities for our students, because although we're in this very beautiful, rather quiet part of the UK, we're networked with schools, students and colleagues all around the world. And this gives our students the most amazing opportunities. As I speak, we have students with one of our teachers at a social impact conference in Houston, Texas, where they're exploring ways of better promoting the UN Sustainable Development Goals within their school settings. We look forward to them coming back and promoting sustainable development here in our Ovingdean campus. So ours is a really beautiful historical site you may have visited already. And so we've got these wonderful historical buildings along with really state-of-the-art new teaching and boarding facilities. And we've got really exciting plans ahead for the future development of our campus, which will include further teaching facilities, further sports and boarding facilities, and development of our beautiful grounds. One of the things we'll make sure we do on your arrival is orientate you not only with our lovely campus, but also with the local area. And our students have found that they've loved getting to know Brighton and the surrounding areas, perhaps particularly at this time of year when the weather's so nice. Our Brighton values are a simple ABC, and these are based on the 3-pillared curriculum from the OIC academic model, which are career and university pathways, personal development and academic excellence. But we like to talk here at OIC Brighton about ambition and belonging and curiosity. And so as our new students, we're really excited about developing your ambition for the future. This is something that you've spoken to us about during the admissions process, and something that we always talk to you about maybe during your interview, your application, because we're really excited about what you want to do in the future and where your OICB education can take you. We're ambitious. As you've heard, we've started small, we're relatively new, and we're growing all the time. And so we're really ambitious for where the college will take us. and where the college will grow and develop in future. But we're most ambitious for you and for your dreams and hopes for the future, both in terms of your university destinations, but also your future careers. And our students are ambitious. They're involved in all kinds of amazing projects and plans for the future. And we're particularly excited about celebrating that with our Year 13s this week. This links very closely to the career and university pathway, in which our students are supported in developing their passions and learning more about their options and pathways as they move through their education. We talk about B for belonging because this is such an important part of who we are as a college. And John is going to talk to you a bit more about our wellbeing programme. And Tom's going to talk to you more about our wonderful boarding community and how it really is a home from home for our students. When we talk about belonging, we're thinking about the community that we develop here with students from all over the world. And you're going to be joining us, many of you studying in the UK for the first time. And we want you to feel a sense of belonging here in Brighton. We want you to feel like you're part of a very diverse community, very international community, where you're able to both be yourself, maintain those ties with home, maybe with your first language, with your interests and individual passions, whilst also being part of something bigger, having that network of contemporaries and peers, having those wonderful friendships that last you through school and beyond, but also being aware of what it means to be part of a community, to give and take and to develop that kind of interdependence in terms of your learning and personal development. And it's something that we're really excited about and explore here, especially in terms of diversity of experience, making sure that students get to know one another, get to learn from one another and respect each other's backgrounds, which are really different. So I hope that's something that you can look forward to when you arrive and you meet people from all over the world and you get to know a whole new group of friends. We talk about C for curiosity, and Gemma's going to talk a bit more about our academic programme, as I say, but I hope that you're going to arrive with your minds wide open in terms of all the things that you want to learn and all the things that are open to you and all the opportunities that are available to you. So if you're wondering what it's going to take for you to be a successful OICB student, then as you can see on screen, it's about saying yes to opportunities. Of course, we expect you to work hard, and I'm afraid you will need to be really organised, although we've got a wonderful supportive team to support you in developing those skills. Really making the most of being part of a diverse community, taking care of yourself and others so that you can develop those future ambitions and your passions. I always encourage our students to read, and if you're at the beginning of a long summer holiday, which many of you will be, then one of the best things you can do in preparation for your new academic journey here at OIC Brighton in the autumn is to read, and read widely and make the most of the time you have away from school to be developing your interests and your personal and academic development through a wonderful habit of reading. And for those parents who are joining us on this webinar, I know that it's a really big step for you to send your child to a new school environment, and I'm sure you'll have lots of questions for us as well. So do please use the Q&A icon to ask those today. It's really important for us that our parents feel that they're as important a part of our community as our students and our colleagues are. And so we endeavour to make lots of opportunities for you to have plenty of contact with us. Part of that will be about ensuring that you know who your key contacts are for your child. So that will be their strategy tutor and their house parent. And all of us on this webinar today are also available to answer queries and questions. We arrange parent-teacher meetings that take place online. But if you're in the area, then please just reach out to us and let us know, because we're always able to arrange in-person meetings as needed with our pastoral teams or our academic teams. You'll be given access to what we call the parent portal. The parent portal has your child's timetable on it. It has your child's academic results and reports, and that's a really key kind of area for you to be able to see live updates about your child's progress. And the academic data comes from our regular assessment programme, and again is updated with a regular reporting on the portal so that you can see how your child is progressing. And it's one of the real strengths of our model that wherever you are in the world, you can really have a confidence in the tracking and monitoring of your child's academic progress. We host regular webinars like this one, and those are throughout the academic year, and they're about all kinds of different aspects of our program. And so do look out for those, because those are one of the key ways in which we can keep you as parents up to date with progress and developments on campus. And you'll also receive our weekly newsletter with regular news, updates, and celebrations of our students' successes. It would be remiss of me, and I'll be in trouble with Joe if I don't mention that we are on social media, and that's another really lovely way of keeping up to date with our news. And we use a platform called Involve for the administration of our supercurricular programme. And again, as parents, you have access to Involve, and this gives you oversight of, for example, if your child has music lessons, additional classes, or which supercurricular clubs and activities your child is doing. And so that's another really important means of communication for you as parents. So we're really looking forward to seeing you here at OIC Brighton. We want you to feel already like you're part of our very warm and welcoming community. And I'm going to hand over now to Dr. Gemma Hannon, who's going to talk to you a bit more about our academic programme. Thanks, Gemma.
Thank you. Thank you, Tess. Yes, we are really excited that you're going to be continuing your academic journey with us at OIC Brighton. As Tess mentioned, we have our three aims, our ABCs of ambition, belonging and curiosity. And we feel that the equal importance that's placed on those three aims really give you a holistic culture of excellence within our college at OICB and really enable you to thrive. When you join us, you'll be allocated a strategy tutor, and that strategy tutor will be here to guide you through your academic journey, and they'll be there to help point you in the right direction, point you towards the people who you need to speak to, and point you towards the courses that will help you to become really expert in your particular areas of passion, and therefore help you to prepare for your university courses at your dream universities in the future. But they'll also be there to talk you through good approaches to study and to revision, and help you to really understand how well you're doing and within your subjects and the areas that you can continue to work on to ensure that you are continuing to thrive within your academic studies. We also have a college of teachers who are really committed to your academic development as well, and they are really excited about the potential for your learning, and they think really deeply about the teaching strategies that they employ to enable you to be able to get the best out of your subject. So that will start from the Head Start course. Head Start is a fantastic opportunity for students in Year 11, Year 12 and Year 13 to get ahead of the academic year. So we have you arrive early at college, and we have a program that involves you being able to meet with your subject teachers and getting started into your studies. It also enables us to be able to run trips to universities and to begin to think really strategically about your individual career plan. So those are the dates for Head Start's the 20th of August. For all other students who are joining us in Years 9 and Year 10, you will come from the 27th of August. And what you will find as soon as you join us is a right to study check. So we collect in all of your documentation, and we welcome you into the college, and then we begin your academic programme. So for those of you who have choices at either GCSE or A level, in that first couple of days, and we'll be confirming those choices with you and sharing with you your timetable. And then you'll begin your courses, and we will be adding in activities of induction, as Tess has mentioned, to help orientate you both within the Brighton area, but also within studying in the UK, and in understanding GCSE and A-level study and what that means for you. If we move on to the next slide, you'll find that supporting your future plans is something that you'll be talked with right from the very beginning. We don't expect you to always come knowing exactly what you want to do later on. And in fact, part of being at OICB is helping you to understand yourself a little bit better, understanding your skills, understanding what you're passionate about, what makes you you, and then finding those best fit courses for you in our global universities, and then beginning to work towards those courses and preparing yourself both academically, so in the knowledge and in the skills that are required for those subjects, but also in those really important skills that employers are looking for later on. That curiosity that Tess has mentioned, that's vitally important to be working towards, and in encouraging. We encourage you to be indulging your curiosity, but because the universities don't just want students with top grades, they want students who understand how to study independently, can ask, and can begin to work towards solutions to some very big questions, because that is what the world needs in the future. Problem solvers who are able to take ideas from lots of different areas and work with different people in order to solve some of the big questions. So what you'll find is a range of experiences throughout your time at OICB, which help you both find those passions, but also help prepare you for those skills that go beyond the GCSE and A-level studies. So that might involve some work experience. You are able, for example, to be working alongside our architects, but we also encourage and help support you to find work experience in dentistry, in medicine, and then in some of the other careers as well. And we bring speakers in our college, but we also bring you out into industry too. And we're very responsive to when students are asking for particular courses or areas of careers, and then we ensure that you're able to speak to the right person. So just as I finish, I want to echo what Tess mentioned about how to thrive at OIC Brighton, which involves you getting involved in as much as possible and being really strategic about the opportunities that you take. You will find that there are numerous opportunities to do essay competitions, maths and science, Olympiads. You're able to work on MIT style projects. We have Nord Anglia's global campus, which really provides you with a wealth of opportunities to explore and to develop your skills of communication, to work alongside others, and then of course that curiosity. So in the next couple of weeks, we will be sending you some summer work, some pre-learning that will hopefully spark your curiosity and your interest in those subjects that you will be studying next academic year. And then we, of course, are always available over the summer as well, should you have any queries, or should you want to find out anything more about your courses. We're really excited that you're going to be joining us soon.
Thank you so much, Gemma. I'm going to hand over now to Tom Layton. Tom is our Director of Boarding. So I know not all of you are boarding students on the call today, but it's such an important part of our programme. And I know Tom will explain that actually all of our students are part of our boarding community.
Well, good morning, parents, carers, guardians and students. Great to see you online this morning. I'm Tom, Head of Boarding here at OICB, and like you, I'm a relative newbie. I started 6 weeks ago, so I can empathise with any feelings about nerves about moving to a school, but I can assure you that you will be welcomed very warmly by the boarding team here, who are passionate and experienced in supporting young people on site. And I think it's there that I wanted to start. Boarding is about care, it's about home from home, and it's about support. And it's absolutely normal to have nerves about changing schools, but also potentially for some of you moving countries. And so that's a really big step, and we're here to guide you along the way and to work closely with your parents and yourselves to make sure that transition is really important. And of course, there's various documents and various pieces of information that you'll be really keen and eager to receive to enable that transition period to be smooth. So there's a number of things that you will receive over the coming weeks, well before you start. One of those will be the handbook, the parent and student handbook. That is kind of a go-to guide with lots of information, expectations, timings, what to do if this happens, where to go on this day. So that will be kind of your go-to guide. And if it's not in there, then you can be in touch and directly with us. But that will be really helpful for you. That's the handbook, okay, student and parent handbook. You'll also receive an update and information as to which house you will be in, who your house parent will be, and that will be communicated with you over the next few weeks. And I talked about a house parent there. For those of you who have perhaps boarded before will know that a house parent, or in different schools may be called a house master or a house mistress, will be your first port of call every day. You'll see them most mornings and evenings, and your parents too. For parents, the house parent is your link to the school from a boarding point of view. So if you have any questions, queries or concerns, or want to share any information with us when your child is here in our care, you would approach the house parent first and foremost. And so on the slides here, you have information about the wider support team. So I think it's important to visualize this slide here and show you that you have a huge breadth of experience and a network around you as a child and for your child here at OICB. And that's kind of in three broad areas: your educational support team, the pastoral support team, and the wider support team there. So from an educational point of view, it's really key, a link called the strategy tutor. The strategy tutor will have regular one-on-one meetings with your child to ensure that they're making good progress in school and to liaise with teachers to ensure that progress is being made, and also with the house parent team in boarding. So it's all very much tied up so we can all look after the student here. There's the SENCO, Special Educational Needs Coordinator, for anyone who might have additional educational needs, but you will be in touch directly with them and we can arrange an online call with our SENCO there. The head of year would oversee the whole boarding year for academics, so that could be year 9, 10, 11 through to 13. And again, we work very closely together with the duty boarding staff, and obviously you've already heard from Dr. Gemma, who is leads on academics for the college. So ultimately, if we don't know the answers there, Gemma would be the one who does know the answers. But I know Gemma speaks often to parents and students about the best course of action and support for their child. In terms of pastoral, Jono, who you're about to hear from shortly, is the DSL, the Designated Safeguarding Lead. I know he will talk to you more about that, and ultimately he's responsible for safeguarding and safety of students. And again, as a boarding team, we work very closely with Jono and the strategy tutor. And we also have somebody called the independent person, who is somebody who is not employed by the school, but whom students can contact should they feel they wanted to speak to an adult who was a little bit more distant from the school, just to talk through any matters they wished. And in addition to the independent person, we have the counsellor who works in school. That's Claire Connolly, fantastic member of staff who students see for many different reasons, and works very closely with, I skip to the yellow part of the slide there, our nurse. So we have a registered nurse who works an extended day in school. That's Claire Swift, two Claires, Claire Connolly, counsellor, Claire Swift, the nurse. And Claire is a registered nurse with over 20 years experience and very, very good at ensuring that students feel well supported and are cared for when they're here in our care. So I hope that visualizes for you what a huge support network you have, both as parents, but also as students here at OICB. Another key person who you would like to see, I'll speak about this slide shortly. We will ensure that you as new students will have a buddy. So a buddy student will be somebody in the year above you at school, and they will be in touch over summer, and we'll make sure there's a contact with you, so that you've made contact with somebody in school already. You could ask them any questions that you might have about what's boarding like, what would I do if I couldn't find my PE kit, and just build up a friendship with them virtually to begin with, so that you could feel safe and secure and settled. It's really quite nice to be able to go, actually, I already know this person, and when you join, they will meet you and meet your family and parents, just to see how you are. So that will be a very strong element of support as well. This slide is really key. So there are 3 boarding houses on site, and within those, each student is assigned to a different competition house. So there's a very strong house system in boarding and OICB here. And as you can see, I won't read all of the explanations here, but our 4 houses, competition houses, are all named after what we would call pioneers. And that chimes very closely with the ABC vision that we have of school and high expectations there. So they're all pioneers in their fields, in academia and social courses. And the way this would play out in school, I'm thinking about last week we had our first inaugural sports day, which was a most wonderful event. And so effectively the students would dress in their house colours and they would perform and compete in order to gain points for their house. So there's a house shield, a house cup, and we had a wonderful assembly yesterday morning where hundreds of medals were given out to students to celebrate their successes, as that's really key here. Success is really holistic at OICB. That is both academic success, which we know is really key to you as families, but also more generally holistic success, sporting success, and pastoral. We want to see that student develop holistically as a whole person, and we believe and we know that the boarding experience here develops that really well. So just to recap.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you, Tess. Just to recap, there will be a number of pieces of information that will come to you over the summer in the coming weeks, and we look forward to welcoming you in August.
And of course, families and students can reach out to us and to Tom and the team if you've got specific questions, because I realise with those of you who are planning to board, there are often quite practical questions and considerations as you pack and prepare your luggage and so on. So we're very happy to answer any questions you may have. I'm going to hand over to Jono Melia now. Jono is our Deputy Principal Pastoral and Wellbeing and passionate about your wellbeing and how we support that when you come and join us at OIC Brighton.
Thanks, Tess. Hi, everyone. Great to see you. My name is Jono. I'm the Deputy Principal Pastoral and Wellbeing here at OIC Brighton. We're so excited to welcome you all to the college in August this year, and have no doubt that you're going to have a fantastic time here. Thank you, Joe, for popping on to the next slide. So the first thing that I wanted to start with is absolutely just following on from what Tom said. And Sports Day on Friday was such a wonderful event, and you'll be really excited to be allocated to a different house. And we've got a great programme of events for you guys to be taking part in over the next academic year. So get ready to get competitive and to support your house to get to the top of that table to take the win. So in front of you, you can see our student code of conduct. I'm not going to go through each part of this individually, but what I will say is that we have really high expectations for behaviour here at OIC Brighton. And the reason for that is that we, as has been explained earlier, are a place where academic excellence is really prioritised, and therefore we want to make sure that everyone is really focused within their lessons and that there's not any distractions, and you're able to really achieve everything that you want to move forward to achieve. So some highlights from our student code of conduct, which we'll go into in more detail as part of your student induction when you arrive, is that we are an English speaking college, and therefore English is our common language, and we will regularly talk about that and remind students of that. We want to make sure as well that in all of our communications with one another, whether it's with our peers or whether it's with other staff or members of staff, that we're being respectful and polite. And obviously Tom will talk more about this as part of the boarding induction, but if you are a boarder here, then there's just some really helpful sort of code of conduct to follow within boarding to make sure that things like, your room is tidy, you're ready, and it's a really helpful environment for you to be learning in. So we will go through our student code of conduct in more detail when you join us in August. We'll have an opportunity for you to ask questions and also for you just to agree to everything that's in there so that we can hit the ground running really positively for school to start. So that is our code of conduct. On to the next slide. Just some further things that I wanted to mention as part of our code of conduct and our expectations here at OIC Brighton. So attendance and punctuality is something that's really key. And so we will be encouraging you to get to your lessons on time, to make sure that you are punctual and you're getting there ahead of the lesson to start so that you can be as prepared as possible. We have a different system to support with that. So obviously we've got teachers that are encouraging you to get to the right place, but then also we have a sort of sounding bell or music that plays on our tannoy system between lessons to make sure that you know when the lesson's finishing and when the next lesson is starting. And obviously it goes without saying that we're not going to expect you to know your way around in the first few days, so please don't worry about that. As part of your induction, we will give you a tour of campus, and then there'll be lots of helpful staff and students around to point you in the right direction so that you know where you need to get to. In addition to some other things, I'm going to come to talk on about wellbeing and our super curriculum as well, and shortly I'll talk to you about our uniform and dress code. But obviously it goes without saying, number 2 there you can see academic integrity and honesty. We are an institution that really thrives on academic excellence, and therefore it is really important where there's regular assessments that you are taking those really seriously. And ultimately our students here talk a lot about the fact that they really enjoy having regular assessments because it helps them to get into the pattern and into the swing of taking those assessments and knowing what it feels like to be in an exam environment. And so I encourage you to take full advantage of those opportunities. On to the next slide. So yeah, we've spoken about attendance and punctuality. Again, there's generally sort of nice music that plays between lessons, but this is just something that goes without saying, and we will be encouraging you and making sure that you are where you need to be. And obviously if that were to not happen, then we'll put supportive measures in through your strategy tutor, through the boarding team, but obviously we will talk more about our rewards system and how you can earn lots of different rewards here on campus at OICB, as well as any sanctions that would be in place as well if you weren't making good choices or if you were perhaps not being as punctual as you should be. On to the next slide. So yeah, our dress code here, we've got a really fabulous uniform here at OIC Brighton, and I'm sure it'll be something that you'll be really keen to know more about, and I'm sure Joe will be able to give us some direction in terms of the information that's sent out for you to get your uniform as part of joining the college. But we have sort of a really smart casual uniform, so there's polo shirts, chinos, and as well as a really fantastic sports uniform as well. And for years, this is dress code for uniform is for years 9 to 11. So we encourage everyone in years 9 to 11 has to be wearing their uniform. You can either be wearing your sports uniform or what we would sort of call the smarter uniform with your polo shirt and chinos, and it's really important, you know, to become part of our community, that we have something that we wear that we're really proud of within years 9 to 11. And then when you get into the sixth form, if any of you are joining us for the sixth form, then our encouragement is to ensure that you are smartly dressed, but you don't have to wear uniform in the sixth form. So yeah, so there's some different items there that you can see, but any questions that you may have about uniform, please do let us know at the end of this webinar, or indeed you can reach out to us over email as well. And so you can see on the right hand side there some really great pictures of our different sports teams which partake in many different activities and fixtures across Sussex, competing against other schools, wearing their sort of team kit. And so you'll get your sportswear to wear, and you'll be part of regular PE activities and lessons which you'll be taking part in 2 or 3 times a week. And then I will come on to talk about our super curriculum as well, where there's a fantastic array of activities that you can take part in. Very briefly, I will mention phones and earphones, earpods, whatever you want to call them, and just the importance, you know, we know how important mobile phones are to young people, to keep in touch with you know, people across the world, family, etc. So students, you will have your phones with you whilst you are here at college, but there are really specific requirements for when you are not allowed to use your phone. And so in terms of having your phone, there should never be a time where phones or earphones are out in lessons, and if that were to happen, then we would just take those off you to prevent any distraction. And also at lunchtime, we make sure that there's no phones in the dining hall as well. We are a community that really enjoys socialising with one another, and it's best done without phones getting in the way of that. So lunchtime's a great time for us to be sharing conversation and good food together. But yeah, there's some really clear times, and again, we'll go through this in more detail as part of our induction. And you will all get access to our education Wi-Fi network here at OICB. There's certain timings on that, so we make sure that you are getting good into good sleep patterns, so that the Wi-Fi will cut off at night time to ensure that you are sleeping well. And also we really importantly, as Tom mentioned earlier, one of my roles at the college is to designate a safeguarding lead. We've got a responsibility to keep you all safe and make sure that you are, you're not accessing anything that could be potentially harmful. And therefore, we have filtering and monitoring in place across our network so that we can make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep you safe. So well-being is something that I'm super passionate about, and I'm really delighted that it's part of my job title here at OIC Brighton. And we have our own approach to well-being that we call ROCKS. And so if you don't know what Brighton Rock is, it's a stick of candy that is very famous here in Brighton. And you'll see that when you come here. So if I were to go, for example, into down to the beach, to Brighton Pier, I could buy a stick of rock, and more often than not, it has, it would say Brighton Pier on it, and those words would run right the way through that stick of rock. And so we talk here about well-being running through the heart of everything that we do. So just like in that stick of rock, wherever you break it, whether we're talking about academic excellence, we're talking about personal development or university preparation, whatever we're talking about, right in the middle of that is your well-being. And your well-being is absolutely paramount to everything that you do, to achieving the academic outcomes that you want to achieve, and also to be having a good, happy and enjoyable time. And so we've got 5 ways to well-being that we talk about here at OIC Brighton, and they are spelt using the ROCKS acronym. And so we're encouraging everybody to relate to one another, to have opportunities to share great times with friends and to meet new people. We encourage everybody to take time to observe. We know that those aspiring medics out there, the ability to be able to stop and observe things and really sort of see attention to detail is incredibly important, and therefore we give lots of opportunity for observation, whether it's wandering around campus or indeed in lessons. Caring, we all know how it feels to give a present at Christmas or on someone's birthday. You get that really wonderful feeling inside, and that's because caring for others is also really good for our well-being too. And we want to be a community that reaches out not just within the community, but also to those perhaps less fortunate than ourselves in our local community, or in Brighton, by doing charitable activities too. So we're encouraging everyone to care. Keeping learning, it goes without saying, each day will be a learning day here at OICB, and we know that is very good for well-being as well. And then staying active too, the importance of getting outside, using the wonderful spaces that we have outside here. We're in an incredible part of the United Kingdom, down in Brighton at OIC, in a very lovely village called Ovingdean. We're at the foot of the South Downs National Park. There aren't many national parks in the UK, but we're right at the foot of the South Downs National Park, and we're just a maximum of a 10-minute walk down to the beach as well. So a wonderful location to get outside, and we know that staying active, exercise, is incredibly good for well-being. So there's 5 ways that we're going to be encouraging you to take care of your well-being, and with these ways are research-based. We've worked with some wonderful partners at different organisations, including the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge, to formulate our well-being programme, and we're really looking forward to introducing you to that when you join us in August. So finally, from me then, I'm just going to talk briefly about our incredible super curriculum programme. So outside of your normal timetable day, there are so many opportunities for you to be getting involved here at OIC Brighton. And so we've got a fantastic array of programmes that take place both within the evening as well as at weekends, and also some brilliant trips that take place too that I know that Tess spoke about earlier. We've got some current students out in Houston, Texas, taking part in a fantastic trip. So there's an incredible array of activities for you to be able to see. And so as part of your induction, we will talk you through what activities you can take part in. And they will range from, I'm going to pick some off the top of my head, Ultimate Frisbee, Computer Coding Club, medicine club. There's so many different clubs that you can come a part of. Some are staff led, some are student led. So perhaps you're sitting there thinking, I would love to lead a club or a super curriculum activity in this area. Please come with that passion, because we know that that passion will inspire others. So anything you want to bring to our programme, we'd be really grateful for. But you'll see there's lots of different other parts to our super curriculum activity as well that you can see. We've got different activities such as Duke of Edinburgh. So we've currently got a group of year 9, 10s and 11s out for a few days doing Duke of Edinburgh, which is an incredible award that you can be a part of here at OIC Brighton, as well as lots of activities that I know Tom will introduce you to as part of the boarding community that take place at weekends. And then again, some incredible trips. We've got some students heading off to Nepal for a trip in the coming few days. We've recently welcomed back students from a brilliant trip in Iceland. And so there's also a ski trip to take part in as well. So lots of different trips and clubs and societies. And as well as Tess said, just being part of Nord Anglia, the wider group of schools. We've got some incredible links with Juilliard in New York, with MIT University in Boston, with IMG, the sports academy out in Florida as well as UNICEF, and lots of other great places to be a part of and get involved in, both locally and globally. Anyway, that's enough from me. I could talk to you for another hour about the exciting things that you're going to be joining us with here at OIC Brighton, but I will save that for you joining us in August, and I'll hand back to Tess.
Thank you so much. So that's a whistle-stop tour through your arrival and start as an OIC Brighton student in August. Joe, would you like to share any questions? And please, if you're on the call, do post any questions you might have using the Q&A function that you should be able to see on your screen.
Thanks, Tess. Thanks, everybody. I hope everyone found that informative. I haven't had any questions in the Q&A, but I have had a few come through to me directly. So I'll start with those, and then if there are any further questions, please do add them. So probably a question for you, Tom, in the first instance. Can you talk through weekend activities for boarders? What types of things can our students expect to be doing at the weekend? Gemma may want to jump in as well from an academic viewpoint, but shall I start with you, Tom?
Absolutely happy to take that one. There are a number of activities which students do, and largely students get to choose those on a rotation, on a rota. So we live very close by to we're called Brighton Marina. So the marina has a number of options, very, very local to us, including some restaurants, but there's a cinema there, for example. There's indoor crazy golf. There's a bowling alley. So very close by. There's lots of fun activities. Students get to go into Brighton, and the younger students are accompanied by a member of staff. And then we might have more adventurous trips. So climbing, go-karting, those sorts of things, or going to the theatre, going to sports matches, going further afield to maybe local sites of interest, historical sites of interest, such as maybe a local castle. So really, it depends year on year. Each year, the student sort of taste changes. So there are certain things that we would do as a boarding team for induction, such as maybe team building, water sports, and if the weather was good, potentially even some camping. But actually, what we do is we like to listen to students. And so if students wanted to go maybe horse riding as a group, we would make that happen. And I think really importantly, there are a number of students who actually play for local sports teams, which we encourage as well. It's a great way for them to make friends outside of the college, but also to integrate locally too. So a movable feast, some things which keep coming around. So climbing is very popular. And that's notwithstanding that we have on site, we have basketball courts and sports fields as well. So lots to do, but we are also guided by students and what they would like to do too.
Thanks, Tom. Gemma, do you want to jump in a little bit about Saturday mornings for year 9, 10, 11, 12, 13?
Absolutely. Our years 10 to 13 have assessments, not every week, but most weeks. This is a really good opportunity for them to know how they're doing within their learning. These are past paper questions or questions in the style of past papers, which give the students the opportunity to be able to practice those exam skills in time conditions, to see how strong their knowledge is, and also to continue to work on their technique. And what we find is that when students then go into their real GCSEs and A-levels, they feel extremely confident because they know how those papers are laid out and they know that they can do them really well. So that's the programme for years 10 to 13. It's published in advance, so you will know at the beginning of the academic year which weeks you'll be attending college for assessments. And then our year 9s, they at the moment have been following a programme of activities. Some of those activities have been on site. Sometimes they include mini Model United Nations, or they're preparing for their Duke of Edinburgh. Sometimes they might be preparing for drama performances, or they may be doing some debating. So that programme is a little bit more varied and really reflects an extension of the super curriculum and that opportunity for those year 9 students to really enjoy getting to know each other, whilst also having lots of challenging academic opportunities as well on a Saturday morning.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Gemma. Gemma, probably another one for you, actually. Through the admissions process, students have chosen their subjects. Specifically, this would be for year 10, year 11, year 12. What would happen if they decided that they wanted to change a subject?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, the best thing to do is to get in touch with admissions if you're a new student, and then to say which subjects you are thinking of changing. Sometimes a student might want to have a conversation about those subject changes, and I am able to have those conversations during the summer so that you can be really strategic and really confident in the choices that you make. Now, we do say to all students that subject choices can be timetable dependent as well, and we do ensure that we try to fit all of the subject choices, because we want our students to be able to have those choices, but we always have to put a caveat on it and say that we will do our best to make all options possible. But if an option happens to not be possible, what we will do is chat to you about what strategically will be a good alternative option for you. That's because we already hold lots of information about you and your preferences and your strategy, but those are always done through conversation. But we always have to put a caveat, because as all schools do, whenever they're putting the timetable together, we want to make it the best fit possible, but we can't always promise every single combination. We do our best though.
Yes, thanks, Gemma. So yes, to reiterate, for our new joining students, if you have any questions regarding subject choices, in the first instance, do come through to myself and the team, as we will have full cover over the holidays. So there'll always be someone available to speak to you. And then we can obviously reach out to Gemma and get her professional expertise on whether that's going to be a suitable option or not. So fine. Tom, another question for you, more about roommates. Can I choose my roommate? Maybe this is something you might not want to talk about. And I think just on that note, myself and Tom will be working next week on sending a communication out regarding which house you'll be in and who your house parent will be. So that will be towards the end of next week. But can I hand over to you, please, Tom?
Sure, it's a really good question, an important one. Obviously, as a new student, it's really difficult to choose roommates if you don't know the other students coming in, is the first point I would say. And the other thing is we spend a lot of time rooming students sensitively, and certain things we always want to consider is ensuring that there's lots of mixing of diversity and friendship building that way. So it's something that we would do in the first instance. When you've joined us, we would always ask you going forward for a preference on roommates. So it's something that we like you to trust us with in the first instance, and then as you join us, we would have further dialogue with. But as Jo said, we'll be sending some more information out about rooming in the coming weeks.
Thanks, Tom. Sorry, another question. Laundry. Could you talk a little bit about laundry and how this is accessible to students if there is no charge? But if you could just talk a little bit about the rota and how that works, that would be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. So yeah, students do their laundry in the houses on a rota per week. And so that they have access to plenty of machines in the house. They are also shown how to use them as part of their induction, really important. And this is a really important part of their independence building from the boarding experience. You know, boarding experience has to be safe and happy and fun, but also needs to build independence. And that's one of the great benefits of boarding experience, is developing that confidence and resilience and independence for next steps, so that when students move on to, say, university, world of work, apprenticeships, they are uniquely equipped to tackle the challenges of everyday life. So students would manage that, but of course, they are shown how to do that by the house team, the boarding team, and the day matron team will oversee that from next year.
Thank you, Tom. Gemma, probably one for you. What happens if I need to take time off during term time? How is this organised, and is it even possible? I suspect I know the answer, but I'm going to hand that over to you. Thank you.
It really depends on what the reason is for the time off. If a student, for example, is unwell, then of course we have a team of people who are able to support with that and able to look after your child and give you advice on the best care. Beyond that, it does depend on what the situation is. We do allow for very exceptional periods of leave, but those reasons are actually quite small. Now, the reason for that is because both the DfE, the Department of Education within the UK, and UKVI, who look after visas within the UK. So if you are a sponsored student, for example, you're expected to be in college and you're not expected to be out of college. And for that reason, we're not able to authorise early departures or late arrivals or long periods of leave during term time. But we know that actually you do want to be in lessons and you want to be engaging with your learning and taking advantage of all the opportunities that there are. However, if, for example, there's a very exceptional work experience opportunity of a very short period of time, or if there is a conference that we've had, for example, students head to really exciting conferences that help to develop their academic pursuits, or a student is going to a university visit or a university interview, those types of leave we are able to approve, but we do ask that as soon as you know about that opportunity, that you are in touch. The usual route is to be in touch with the head of year in the first instance, so that you can discuss what the needs are, and then the head of year often discusses with me as well what those needs are for leave. So yes, leave is possible. It does depend on what the reason is, and we give guidance and support on what's going to be both possible for you, but also what's strategic for you as well.
Thank you, Gemma. Jono, one for you. What should I do if I feel homesick?
Great question, and one that is a very important question, because this is something that's likely to happen to some of you. And so the answer to that question is that, as I said earlier, with having access to your mobile phones, that you will regularly each day have access to be able to regularly contact home, have phone calls, have video calls, and have those regular contact points as well. So that's, first of all, is the most important thing, is you will have regular contact with home. But ultimately, our aim here is to make sure that you are enjoying yourself so much and being so busy that you're perhaps not feeling homesick or even thinking so much about home. But if there's someone you want to talk to, then in the first instance, we would encourage you to go and speak to your strategy tutor, or indeed there's the boarding team as well. And we would support you with how you're feeling, make sure you've got opportunities to speak to home, and also, you know, anything else we can do to make this feel like a home for you. So, you know, you can obviously, you know, make your room your own, make it feel feel homely as well, and so we would be supporting you with that. But ultimately, all of the staff here care, and all of the staff here are here to support. So my encouragement would be to reach out to an adult at the school who would be able to help.
Thank you, Jono. Just one for you, Gemma, and probably a little bit for Tom. How is study time organised? And this is specifically for boarders. So a younger student, how do we ensure that we're supporting their independent study and their homework or prep?
Okay, I'll first of all talk about what happens during the day, and then Tom will be able to pick up with the evenings and the weekends. During the day, depending on what year group that you're in, you have study periods. Now, whenever you are a younger student, those study periods would be supervised. And if you are an older student, then you have the opportunity to be studying more independently around college. We really encourage you to be using your study periods really effectively, so that you are using the school day as an opportunity of really completing your learning, of going over previous work, of doing any pre-learning that might have been set by your subjects, and really getting to grips with that subject material. That is best done independently, and then going to your teachers perhaps with some questions afterwards. So during the weekday, you will find that your teachers will set you assignments on Microsoft Teams, and those assignments will have a due date of a couple of days in advance, ahead of a lesson, for you to complete that work. And then you will have, as a younger student, some supervised spaces in college to complete that work. And I'll hand over to Tom, and he'll be able to talk about what that support looks like in the evenings for our boarding students.
Thanks, Gemma. So in the evenings, obviously, importantly, we have to get through supper and some free time after college lessons, supper, and then in the evening will be a prep session between 7:30 and 9 o'clock. So students will be gainfully employed in homework time, working on projects independently or in groups, and they will be supervised by members of staff. Younger students will be directly supervised in a classroom environment by staff. Older students do have the option to be in their rooms, but many will work in common areas in groups.
Thanks so much, Gemma. Thank you, Tom. I think that's the end of the questions that I had come through. I just wanted to reiterate, we'll be sending out rooming allocations next week. You'll also be sent a link to a landing page on the website, which will have some welcome videos. It will have some information on packing lists, on the uniform ordering system. So you'll be given lots of information in the next week or so. And as I said, myself and the team are available during the summer. The handbook will also come out to you probably in the next couple of weeks, so that will have a wealth of information as well. And as Gemma talked about, there'll be the much anticipated summer work coming out to you too. So I'm going to hand back over to Tess just to close, but thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you in August.
Thank you. Thank you to all my colleagues for their engagement with this webinar and for sharing such a lot of information with you. Please don't feel overwhelmed by any of that. We know that some of you have examination results coming out in August. It's a really exciting summer ahead. You are joining OIC Brighton at such an important stage in our development as a college, and we can't wait to welcome you and to welcome you as part of our community. So have a wonderful summer. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you may have, and we will see you very soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.